What's up everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Islam Makhachev reacts to retirement comments. While Islam Makhachev is preparing to make the jump up to 170, aka head coach Javier Mendez has raised eyebrows with comments indicating that the pound-for-pound kingpin may only have 3 fights left before riding off into the sunset. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. In response, AKA's Daniel Cormier weighed in on a recent video for his YouTube channel.
But Islam only has 3 fights? It's scary to me because I know, knowing these guys, the only saving grace right now is that someone else is saying it for him and he has not said that himself. If Islam comes out and tells us, I've got 3 fights left, we should all go, man, we got to lock in. We saw Khabib do it and he never looked back. That should be worrisome to us as mixed martial arts fans. We have so many more fights that we want these guys to fight. We want to see him against Jack Della. We want to see him against Usman, and we want to see him against Ilia Topuria.
Almost right on cue, both Makhachev and his manager Ali Abdelaziz responded to the news, with Abdelaziz posting, Islam Makhachev, nothing thinking about retirement, at least 3 more years of high-level competition. Makhachev himself then added, #double champ, everything is just beginning. Although there's been no word from the UFC on when the fight may happen, Jack Della Maddalena recently threw out the possibility of the two fighting at Madison Square Garden in November. Charles Oliveira's response to the MMA community. Recently, a lot of critics questioned Charles Oliveira's skill set ahead of his fight against Ilia Topuria. Well, during an interview with MMA Fighting, Oliveira responded to the MMA community's comments. Here's what he had to say. I don't like to talk about it because everything we say becomes noise, but I think we're past that already, right? It's 15 years in the UFC. I was just a kid when I got there. Everything I say has a meaning, right? I'm just a kid amongst the lions, but now I'm a lion amongst the lions. A different lion, a bad lion. The last one said, Charles quits and I went in there and ran him over. Charles has no hands. I went in there and knocked him out. Charles this and that, I went in there and got it done. If the idea is to keep talking and wondering if they will get in my head, man, you're not here to see. But if you ask the boys that walk with me, I see that and I just laugh, you know. They're just so dedicated that when they talk, I'm training, I'm dedicated. I'm not the guy that has to keep posting and keep talking. I know what I have to do. The fight is on June 28th, so I have to stay focused and stay ready. What are your thoughts on Oliveira's comments? And who do you see winning at UFC 317? Charles Oliveira or Ilia Topuria? Caio Borralho goes off on Nassourdine Imavov. Ahead of the upcoming UFC 319 clash between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev in August, Nassourdine Imavov has officially decided he will no longer be weighing in as the backup fighter. Instead, Imavov took aim at Caio Borralho, who's repeatedly been calling him out. No backup anymore, conditions changed. You wanted to talk, son, I'm here, I'm gonna break you, Caio Borralho. When one fan joked about Borralho starting an OnlyFans account, Imavov replied in French, writing, he didn't have enough confidence in his career, he needed a second job. The pair of posts caught the attention of Caio Borralho, who unloaded on Imavov in a post of his own. Finally stopped hiding, huh? You don't call anything. You do what you're told. You tried to avoid this fight for so long and everybody knows that. Now, you'll do exactly what I commanded. Fight me. I make the rules here. Say bye-bye to France. I'm sending you back to Dagestan. Considering that Imavov was already planning to weigh in as the backup at UFC 319, perhaps we'll see these two throw down sometime in August or even September. Ben Askren's wife gives a huge health update. Over the past few weeks, the MMA community has been rallying around Ben Askren, as the former ONE and Bellator welterweight champion fights for his life. While there's been plenty of conflicting news regarding Askren's health, his wife Amy has been providing fans with updates on the situation, and according to her latest update, while the former champion is still, quote, in limbo, he has been able to open his eyes and squeeze hands. I haven't shared an update because Ben has been in limbo for a while, and I was hoping to have him wake up and be the one to decide what to share. I've had some media people contact me that they're going to share an update, and I would rather it come from me. Ben is still on a ventilator and ECMO to support him while he heals. There are good days and bad, but on the good, they've been able to wean his sedation enough for him to open his eyes and squeeze hands. His body can't handle coming off sedation too much yet. I'm still praying for a miracle with his current lungs, but they're currently starting the evaluation process for lung transplant. Please pray for his continued healing, and if transplant is the solution, that he can get on the list quickly and easily. I know transplants are such a blessing, and I'm overwhelmed at the thought of him receiving a gift like that. No one would take better care of that gift than Ben. Thank you for every message and all the support. Despite this awful situation, I'm feeling so blessed by the community we're surrounded by. Give your loved ones a hug today and make sure you're prepared for situations like this. Ben is the healthiest guy I know, and I never could have expected this. Needless to say, the former champion has the support of the entire MMA community behind him. Magomed Ankalaev calls out Alex Pereira again. Last week, Alex Pereira revealed via Instagram that he's begun camp for his next fight. Despite that, Magomed Ankalaev called out the former champion for ducking him on Tuesday. In response to a total wireless ad shared by the UFC featuring Pereira and Mauricio Rufy, Ankalaev wrote, "This is why he don't want to fight." As fans eagerly await news regarding when these two might throw down again, Pereira has shared a video on social media showing himself weighing 243 pounds. While the former champ is just starting camp for his next fight, some fans want to see him make the jump up to heavyweight if the fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall does not come to fruition. As the Mac Life's Oscar Willis wrote, "If Jon is out, let's cancel Pereira Ankalaev and do Aspinall versus Pereira." Although Pereira said in the past that he's focused on 205 and would want to take time to properly make the jump up to heavyweight, if Jon Jones winds up retiring, it'll be interesting to see how things play out here. Venum accidentally leaks Shavkat Rakhmonov's custom shorts. Earlier today, a user on X that goes by Vinny Talks realized that the Venum website leaked Shavkat's custom shorts for his next UFC fight. The custom shorts were listed for $129.99 USD, and after Venum realized their mistake, they went on to delete Shavkat's shorts from their website. As of right now, we don't know who Shavkat will fight, but it seems like an announcement is on the horizon. What are your thoughts on his custom shorts? Let us know in the comments below. Dana White reveals huge goal for the UFC. Over the years, Dana White has helped elevate the UFC to the biggest MMA promotion in the world. Although the UFC CEO is worth millions, and the UFC's value has skyrocketed since he and the Fertittas purchased it back in 2001, Dana still has one goal left that he wants to accomplish. While speaking with young reporter Jaslyn, he revealed that he wants to host a UFC event in every country in the world.
But what is one aspiration or goal you have for yourself that you have not accomplished yet and hope to do so soon?
I would say that the goal that I still have is to continue to take the UFC to places where it's never been, bring the live event there. You know, we still haven't been to Spain. It's crazy that we haven't been to Spain yet.
Oh, wow.
Got to get to Spain and many other places. I will have achieved my goal when the UFC has literally had a live event in every country all over the world.
This weekend, White and the UFC will have a chance to cross another country off their list when the UFC hosts its first event in Azerbaijan. On top of that, if Ilia Topuria emerges from his upcoming fight with Charles Oliveira victorious, and Dricus du Plessis emerges from his UFC 319 fight with Khamzat Chimaev victorious as well, perhaps the UFC will revisit the idea of a card in Spain or South Africa next year. UFC updates. Heading into this weekend's card in Azerbaijan, let's take a look at today's UFC updates, starting with two new additions to the UFC Vegas 108 card on August 2nd. First up, we got a fight between Mateusz Rebecki and Chris Duncan, which will see Rebecki look to build on a split decision victory over Miktabik Oralbai back in October, while Duncan will look to build on a two-fight win streak that's seen him submit both Bolaji Oki and Jordan Vucenic with guillotine chokes. That card will also reportedly play host to a fight between Francis Marshall and Austin Bashi, with Marshall looking to bounce back from a split decision loss to Myron Santos in March, which dropped him to just 2-3 over his last 5, and Bashi looking to bounce back from a decision loss to Christian Rodriguez back in January. We also have two new additions to the UFC 319 card in August. That's Edson Barboza is set to fight Drakkar Klose, and King Green is set to fight Carlos Diego Ferreira. In the Barboza Klose fight, Barboza will look to get back in the win column after a decision loss to Lerone Murphy back in May of 2024. On the other side, Klose will look to bounce back from a first-round loss to Joel Alvarez in December. Meanwhile, in the King Green Carlos Diego Ferreira fight, Green will look to snap a two-fight skid, which most recently saw him get finished by Mauricio Rufy in March, while Ferreira will look to bounce back from a loss to Grant Dawson back in January. UFC fighter reveals sad news on health. Since a sensational first-round KO of Eric Gonzalez in his UFC debut, Trevor Peek has struggled to replicate the same level of success. After dropping back-to-back decisions last year to Charlie Campbell and Yanal Ashmus, Peek won't have a chance to get back in the win column this year. In a post on Instagram, the fan favorite revealed that he blew out his ACL and MCL in practice and will be sidelined for the remainder of 2025.
Well, son, if I had $1 for every time that I've been asked if I was fighting on that Nashville card, I could just retire right now. But I ain't fighting. I ain't fighting the rest of this year, guys. I blew my knee out. God. Yeah, like the 27th of May, I was at a MMA practice. Just a freak accident. Me and my weight and the boys, another teammate of mine, his weight come down on it, and snapped that ACL and it's got my MCL too, so a couple more small things in there. But you guys pray for me. Gonna go under the knife tomorrow and, you know, maybe get this thing fixed up and get on the road to recovery. 2025, the year of injury, son. Just want to punch somebody in the face. Anyways, keep me in your prayers. I will hop on here soon. Love y'all.
Peak posted the video on Instagram along with the caption, "No fights for me this year. Oh well, roll with the punches. It's been a tough year, but we'll get through it. I'm sorry I didn't update you guys a little sooner. I pretty much disconnected from everything for a few weeks. I'm going in for surgery tomorrow. Definitely could use a few prayers. With everything that has happened this last little bit, we have also decided to postpone our FCA Combat launch. We will update everyone with a new date for our event soon. I am still such a blessed individual. Love y'all." With Peak set to undergo surgery this week, hopefully we get to see him back in the octagon again, ASAP. Dana White reveals huge UFC Abu Dhabi card. Early this morning, Dana White randomly decided to announce the UFC Abu Dhabi card that's happening on July 26. Now, if you've been keeping up with the MMA zone, you would know a majority of these fights. However, Dana White confirmed of Aaron Pico joining the UFC, and he'll be fighting Movsar Evloev in a 5-round fight. Dana even mentioned that if Movsar gets the win, he'll most likely fight Alexander Volkanovski for the belt next. Check out the announcement.
What's up, everybody? UFC President Dana White here to talk to you about one of the most bad fight nights of the year, happening live and free on ABC, the network, July 26th from Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. Here we go. In the main event, we have number 5 ranked Robert Whittaker taking on Reinier de Ridder. Whittaker, a former UFC middleweight champion, you all know he's been in some of the best fights in middleweight history and now intends on being the first guy to beat de Ridder in the UFC. De Ridder is a former middleweight and light heavyweight world champion and has finished every one he has fought in the UFC. He's coming off a win over the top prospect in the sport, Bo Nickel. If de Ridder can beat Whittaker, it's very likely he'll be fighting for the number 1 contender bout next. I am pumped for this fight because these guys are both killers and they always come out and deliver. In the co-main event, we have another 5-round fight between number 4 ranked Movsar Evloev, taking on the guy most people consider to be the top free agent in the world, Aaron Pico. Evloev is undefeated at 19-0 and one of the most intimidating guys at featherweight. Aaron Pico is a ridiculously violent striker and a very high-level grappler. Pico has had hype behind him since he was a teenager because of his skill and fighting style, which people compare him to the likes of Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier. If Movsar can get the victory, he will likely be the next contender for the title against Alexander Volkanovski.
What are your thoughts on the UFC Abu Dhabi card? Let us know in the comments below. We have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day.